right, welcome to the Always Bayern Chelsea show in collaboration with the Radio Muller channel, all the way from over in Ukraine. This is a video episode special collaboration, and I'm here with my friend Oleg, and I've been very excited to do this to do this episode. So, Oleg, if you want to introduce yourself or kind of I don't know, introduce your fan club, your Bayern Munich fan club in Kyiv. That would be awesome. So the floor is yours to start.
Hi, everybody. As was mentioned, my name is Oleg. I'm from Kiev, Ukraine. And a few words about myself. I'm a big fan of FC Bayern from 1999 and co-founder of FC Bayern fan club in Kiev. And also I'm administrator of Radio Muller YouTube channel. So hello.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, if you're watching this video on the Always Bayern Chelsea channel and you have not checked out the Radio Muller channel, check it out. It is not in English, of course, but what I do is I watch it with subtitles on. So some good stuff going on over there. And yeah, I just want to say thank you for reaching out and joining me here today. I think it's awesome. The global football community is something that's so fun and cool to be a part of. So, yeah, if there's anything you want to say, just kind of to start it off about that unique aspect of football where it's such a global thing, you know. Last time we chatted, you talked to me about being a citizen on planet football, and I don't know, that stuck with me. I like that sentiment.
Before moving forward, I just want to say that we have list of YouTube shorts on Radio Muller channel, and it doesn't require your native language is English or any other. You can just view is and have some fun. Well, yeah. Moving forward, what can I say? My journey with FC Bayern started in 1999. It was my first Champions League, and FC Bayern was playing with such teams like Dynamo Kiev, Kaiserslautern, and moving to Champions League final in Barcelona. They unfortunately lost that final because Fergie time. And yeah, it was a pity, but it was so emotional moment to me, and I bring these emotions from all my life, and I still love FC Bayern from first viewing in 1999, and in this season I have let me say a little crush for Oliver Kahn and Stefan Effenberg, the passion, how they playing, their emotions. It was very expressive, and yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear about your background and your history with Bayern Munich. You know, it's just awesome. That Mia San Mia feeling is truly a global community, and that's one of the best things in my mind about FC Bayern is just yeah the global community that it brings. And I'm just kind of curious how is it starting up a fan club in Ukraine? You know, I mean, luckily for me, being in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, we do have a lot of German heritage here. So, you know, a lot of people who kind of settled in this area are originally from Germany. So, I think it's, you know, we have the old German beer hall down in downtown Milwaukee, and that's a fun place to watch games. And nowadays, everything is on ESPN as long as far as the Bundesliga goes in America. So, yeah, how is it over there in Ukraine? You know, starting up the fan club and bringing that community to life.
Well, it was pretty interesting story because here in Ukraine we have a lot of fans from different clubs um, uh, Italian top clubs, English or Spanish, and um, not so much people looking for German football and FC Bayern in particular. Uh, but there were several fellows in one university, and we get in touch together, and we have idea to hey, let's uh, uh, well get together every a weekend and see FC Bayern matches, and it was 2010, the season where when FC Bayern was playing in the Champions League final two with Inter Milan. Surprise, surprise.
Funny.
Um, it was beginning. I couldn't say that our community is a biggest fan club in Kiev, but we are, and we are proud to be here and 15 years old. It's it makes
Wow.
sense to move forward, to be a member of FC Bayern community.
Yeah, it sounds like a great community, and yeah, that's a good solid history you got going on there. So that's just completely incredible. Um, and yeah, I mean, you mentioned some of those big personalities that you kind of fell in love with watching Bayern Munich all those years ago. How do you feel about how the team is looking so far this season? Obviously, um, even since the last time we spoke, which was I think last week, there's been so much news. I mean that's always how it goes with Bayern Munich. But yeah, just kind of give me a few of your thoughts about how things are going this season so far. Obviously, there's a new manager and so much to talk about.
Sure. A few words about this season. It's pretty interesting to view how company um, upgrade himself as a coach. I have no um, big um, um, well. Before the season, I couldn't say that it will be a very positive season because company has no much experience with top clubs, and everybody knows how he became coach of FC Bayern. And there were less positive thoughts before starting, but for now I could say that I'm satisfied with company, with a team in general. Yeah, we have some problems, especially with backline, and yeah, I think that these problems could be resolved in future, next season, for instance. We need to make some upgrades, maybe some transfers. Um, but in general, this season is not so bad as I expected.
Yeah, you know, I'm right there with you. I certainly had my doubts about company going into this season just because, you know, how would he react to the big stage of Bayern Munich? It's not the same coming from Burnley. Um, Everything about Bayern is different. You have to deal with huge egos from guys in the locker room, guys that have won more than you have, guys that have won everything in the sport of football are playing for Bayern Munich. And you also have to deal with the media. You have to deal with the sporting directors as well as the supervisory board. I mean, there's so much that's different when it comes to Bayern, obviously being the biggest club in Germany. Um, and that's not even to mention in a sporting sense, you have these huge Champions League matches to coach for, and you have a title to try to win in the league. So I wasn't sure about company. Last summer I would have wanted someone like Xabi Alonso or Hansi Flick to come back. Those were my top two guys who I would have wanted as manager. But also like you, I've been pleasantly surprised with company. I think there certainly are some holes in our team and our game, like you said. But overall, I'm pleasantly surprised. I think that company's done a lot of things well. I think he's done a very good job managing the locker room. I think he's done a very good job managing the media. I like his playing style overall, and I think he has convinced the players of that as well. I think he's won over the players. I think I would like to see him embrace rotation a little bit more. I've been calling for that this season, and now we're at this point where we have all these injuries. I'm not blaming him for that. Injuries are partially luck, partially management. There's a lot that goes into it, but um, I think next year there will have to be more rotation. Um, you know, but yeah, overall, I'm happy at this point in the year, and there's still a lot to play for right now. That's for sure. A league title, a Champions League. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I agree, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm also happy with how he has, I think, mended some relationships with key guys. I think Joshua Kimmich, for example, last year under Thomas Tuchel, I don't think Kimmich was happy at all. I think company totally mended that relationship. I think there's guys like Alphonso Davies, Dayot Upamecano who have made big strides under company. I think these guys look a lot better this year than they did last year. So. Um, I'm happy overall. Like you said, I agree with the defensive holes. I think there's certainly some shoring up that back line will need for next year, and I think maybe one more attacking player. I don't know what you think about that, but I'd like to see one more attacking player, and as well as some defensive upgrades.
Yeah, um, I think this year is some kind of experimental because we have a new coach and I would like to say we have a young team. How it sounds a little bit weird, yeah, because we have a lot of players that have a lot of cups in their room, but in general we have fresh members, new coach, and there are new requirements from coach to the team, and we are not let me say, um, we are trying to find our game still, and I think
Yeah,
this will be resolved next season. What about transfers? I agree that we need more rotations and more transfers this summer. For example, new striker, because we have only one Hurricane, and this season was a period when he was injured, and it was crucial because there were games with top 10, maybe, if I'm not wrong. And what if this period present now when we need to um, play with such top team like Internazionale, yeah? and it's a big problem, I think, because we have only one good striker. Um, Another problem is our defenders, and I think we need to make some um, rotations in what I mean that we need to buy somebody and we need to sell somebody. Without any names, but potentially uh, in Italy, I think we can find some good defenders with German passport from actually from Inter and AC Milan. We have two Germans national players. Um, Chow and Jan Bisek. They are pretty. They are young and they have a good potential. So maybe we can make some shopping in Italy. In Italy this summer in Milan.
Yes, I agree with you 100% on both of those fronts. And yeah, you're right. We saw it this season when Harry Kane was out, how different that attack looked, and really just there was a lack of production without Kane. You know, he's the main man. And you know, you have these pseudo striker options, you know, obviously you have someone like Tell who's now on loan, but he's not really a traditional striker. Gnabri's not really a traditional striker. Muller's certainly not a traditional striker. And you saw that lack of production when Kane was injured. And even when Kane is banged up and still playing, you know, there have been matches where you notice he's a little bit slower. And even in those matches, um, Bayern's attack is so handicapped. But I agree with what you said too about the defense. I think um, bringing in one of those guys would be just so vital for rotation, especially because you know, you see our defense now, and we're struggling to find players who are healthy enough to play, and a lot of guys are playing out of position, and um, you know, the ones that are healthy, like Kim, for example, is playing through Achilles tendonitis and a bad back and a cold, and you know, so uh, I agree with you there, totally. So 6 points ahead of Leverkusen in the league right now. How do you think we stand in the Bundesliga going into these last six matches?
um, Pretty good because we are going to get one more championship. And I hope Hurricane will win his first cup in his
Me
career.
too.
And what can I say? FC Bayern show the best football in German this season, and I think there are no doubts that FC Bayern will get this. Uh,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think we've been the most consistent team in Germany as well. I'm right there with you. I think it's Bayern's league to lose. Uh, I'm a little bit worried with all the injuries because if we keep having, you know, basically every day there seems like there's a new injury. So if that keeps happening, I'll be a little bit worried. But I think overall, I think it is Harry Kane's time to win that trophy.
Yeah. Absolutely. The list of injured players show us one more problem. Yeah, that we have no enough people for rotation because I think, for example, our last game in Bundesliga with Augsburg, I think if we have enough players, we could rotate Musiala, Hurricane, Olise before clash in Champions League with Inter Milan to make some rest for these players. But we have no options. That's why we are still still use these players, and as a result, we are so lucky.
Yes.
and last match was so negative from Musiala's injured perspective. So it is um, well, I want to cry.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, I mean it's rough, and yeah, like I said, I think it's still our league to lose, but I'm getting more and more nervous each day with all of these injuries. But something else I wanted to talk to you about that really changed since the last time we spoke was Thomas Muller, you know, and now Musiala is injured, so maybe Muller's services will be needed more this year. But obviously, the big breaking news of the week, you know, and you have the Radio Muller channel, so I want to get it right from you. How do you feel about um, Bayern Munich not offering Muller a new deal, and this being his last season with the club?
Well, it's mm, Müller is a legend, and
Yes.
uh, Thomas Müller is a kind of player that I would like to use if I'll be a coach. I want to have such player in my team because it's a player who can assist, who can score, who can work in the fence. Um, Great player. I think uh, it's not right decision from FC Bayern club. Uh, well, um, I want to cry once again because um, he is a great player, great man, and he has multiple records. Um, well, hard to say something when you trying to um, make some um, analysis what he brings to FC Bayern these last 15 years, and it was very hard uh, to read this message.
Yes, I agree with you, and I think between the two of us, there's going to be quite a few tears going these in these coming weeks because, yeah, too am super sad about that. Um, I think he got a bad deal from the club. I think that um, that he has won everything for the club and has earned the right to retire or leave in the way that he wants to. Um, Even from a sporting sense, I think he still has a use to the team. I think he's so creative and he's so good at breaking down a defense. I think that he would be useful even as a rotational piece, um, so that next season we wouldn't end up in this situation that we're in now, where Kane and Musiala have to play every single match. And obviously, we saw Musiala now is out for what will likely be the rest of the season. I mean, maybe he could come back for the Club World Cup or for the Champions League final if we were to make it there. But essentially, Musiala is probably done now. Um, and and then from a financial perspective, I get that he's not worth the amount of money that you're probably paying him, but I don't see why Bayern Munich didn't offer him a contract at all. You know, I think they should have offered him, you know, a contract with a pay cut or whatever. But um, yeah, I talked about this a few times so far on our show, but I think that you could make up any money you want in a marketing sense, merchandising his last season. You know, I think you could sell kits or you could, I don't know, really just make up a ton of money through social media and ticket sales and whatnot. So, um, yeah, it's sad to me. I think that in the past, Bayern Munich has been known for treating their legends well and really living up to that Mia San Mia um, mentality and feeling. But um, this move doesn't feel in line with that to me.
Yeah, and from my side, I could add that I couldn't imagine Thomas Muller in another jersey.
Yeah, what do you think? What do you think is next for him? Do you think he's going to go to the MLS or somewhere else, or do you think he's gonna retire after this year?
Well, yeah, I think MLS could be a good option because we know that some players from Bundesliga, in particular, are going to MLS when they are going to be 30 plus, like Marco Reus. So why not?
Yeah, I worry that the level of competition in the MLS might not be something that he something that he's looking for, but from a selfish perspective, it would be nice to get to see some matches, if he goes to the MLS. The closest MLS team to me would be the Chicago Fire, but Minnesota has a team as well. I've heard rumors that he might go to FC Cincinnati, which is about 6 hours away by car from Milwaukee. So, uh, yeah, not too bad. Yeah, or I think the rumors that I heard are Cincinnati or San Diego or maybe LAFC, but um, yeah, I think if he wants to you know, go somewhere to live a beautiful life. I think San Diego might be the best city for that, but I guess I'm rooting for Cincinnati since that's closer to me.
We'll see.
Yeah, yeah, we will. Why don't we switch gears here now and just talk about the Champions League quarterfinal because that's coming up so soon here in a couple of days. Bayern Munich versus Inter. How are you feeling about that? What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm a little bit nervous because we have a lot of injured players, and this breaking news about Thomas Müller is also makes some, I think, negative impact on um, um, Bayern Munich clash with Inter Milan. But anyway, there are still chances for FC Bayern. We have enough resources to move forward. We have a great attackers, Hurricane, Olise. They have good season, good results, good statistics, and if they will be in a good form, I think we um, we can beat Inter Milan. But Inter Milan is a kind of team that like to be number two in a match, and um, uh, anyway, we have problems with our backline, and I think Inter Milan will have their own chances to score goals, and uh, it will be hard game. I think it will be hard game because the squad of Inter Milan consists of good players, and there are less injured players. There are actually two or three, and not um, the main in the first 11 players. So it will be hard, but I think we have chances anyway.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. A couple weeks ago, I was feeling really good when we played Bayer Leverkusen. I was feeling good about this matchup, and shortly after that, I was feeling good. I saw how put together the team looked. I saw how good the attack looked. The defense, that back line kind of led by Upamecano, and just the attacking set up with Kane, Olise, and Musiala, and then throw Coman or throw Zane on that left side. And I was feeling really good about that. Um, Especially, like I said, after that Leverkusen match, it reminded me of last year when the team didn't look so good throughout most of the year, but really put it together and put up some good performances against Arsenal and then Real Madrid for a bit in the Champions League. And it reminded me of the team that was is just so mature and so put together, where they really rose up to the occasion in the Champions League, uh, and reached that upper echelon. Reached another level of play, and I was thinking that's what was going to happen again against Inter. And then flash forward to now, we have all these injuries, and I think it might be a little too much to overcome. I don't know what kind of team out there could go super far in the Champions League with seven starters, give or take, injured. So I think it's going to be a challenge. I think Bayern still has a lot of talent. Inter is such a solid team. They're
Yeah.
also a very mature team. They, um, you know, they have that kind of mid to low block really put together. They're great on the counter. They're great playing through the middle. So I think Bayern certainly has a tough task. I think it's going to be a close match, but um, yeah, it might be tough, unless I think unless Kane or Olise or one of these attacking players really just grabs the game and goes through, because I still think Bayern has enough firepower and enough attack to be able to string together a few goals. I think it's just going to be how sturdy is that defense, and that's kind of what I'm worried about.
Yeah, agree. A few words to add from my side is that Inter Milan a few years ago was in the final, and the whole team is very experienced, and their manager is more mm, has more experience than Vincent Company. S and it will be a very interesting game. I think one of the most interesting games in quarterfinals. Uh,
Yeah, I agree
mhm.
with you. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a close game. Like I said, I think Bayern still has a chance, but I think it's going to be very tough.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you there. Can I get a prediction of a score for the Inter match? I'll tell you, I'm gonna go with my heart and say Bayern's gonna find a way to scrape through with uh, a gutsy 2-1 victory. That's my prediction. I think Harry Kane's gonna score a brace.
It's a good prediction, very objective, because we all know the problems of FC Bayern in the backline, and every game we are going um, to be scored. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think if Hurricane and Olise will find their own game on Tuesday, will have a good result.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think those two are crucial. When those two are playing together, um, Bayern is so dangerous. Olise cutting in with that left foot and finding Kane with crosses, and Kane making just dangerous runs into the box. That's what I'm hoping to see, really for the rest of the season. So, yeah, thank you for talking to me today. Do you have any just closing thoughts in general? Anything you want to say? Before we stop this episode here?
Well, nothing special. I just want to say thank you for your time, for your participation in is really uh, uh, well. I'm happy to find FC Bayern fan from United States, because I know that in United States the football or soccer is not the most popular um, sport in this country, and is it's very attractive to speak with you and to find some thoughts, some common thoughts, and I hope we'll make some next episodes in the future. Maybe to talk about the results of the season somehow.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. I think we'll definitely have to meet up again and do some more episodes. Maybe I'll be more of a guest on your on your channel at some point. I just got to buff up some of my language skills, I think. But no, yeah, I completely agree with what you said. I think it's awesome the global impact that soccer has, and it's so cool to talk to Bayern fans from around the world. Bayern Munich specifically, I think, is a special club. There's a great community out there, just that Mia San Mia mentality. I keep saying it, but that is the slogan. It's such a good mantra to have. And yeah, if you're watching this on the Always Bayern Chelsea channel, like I said, this is a video episode, and go ahead. I'll link your Radio Muller channel down in the description below. So definitely go check that out. And again, we're gonna have a lot of coverage coming up here with all these matches, Inter, Dortmund, rest of the Champions League, rest of the Bundesliga. Um, it's a really fun time to be a fan, and it's a really good community to be a part of. So maybe the next time we talk, we will be previewing the Champions League semifinals or something like that.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. So thank you again for coming on here and talking to me. This is so cool. It's so special. Thank you.
Thank you too. Have a nice day.
You too.